Okay, so very good morning, everyone. This is Bhumi Mahida. Today I'm here with the presentation on Woolf's Orlando versus Vita in Virginia, a love letter in fiction. These are my academic information, table of contents. So let's begin with the introduction. Virginia Woolf and Vita Sequel-West share a deep and complex relationship, blending friendship, romance, and intellectual admiration. Their bond greatly influenced Woolf's writing, particularly Orlando, a biography, which was directly inspired by Vita's life, personality, and struggle with gender and identity. Woolf even dedicated the novel to Vita, making it a unique literary love letter that immortalized her in a fiction. Beyond personal tribute, Orlando explored key themes such as gender fluidity, such as the protagonist seamlessly transform from male to female, and challenging fixed ideas of identity. This novel also play with history and biography, blending real historical figures and events with fantasy, questioning the reliability of traditional life writing. Hypothesis of my presentation is Virginia Woolf's Orlando serve as a literary love letter to Vita Sackville-West, blending elements of biography and fiction to explore themes of gender fluidity, sexual identity, and feminist critique, while also functioning as a satirical commentary on a societal norms and historical contents. Research question is: how does Virginia Woolf's Orlando function as a both a personal tribute to Vita Sackville-West and a broader feminist and satirical critique of gender identity, sexuality, and historical narratives? So let's discuss the background of this Virginia Woolf and Vita Sackville-West. So Virginia Woolf was born on 1882 and died on 1941. Was a British modernist writer, best known for novels such as Miss Dalloway and To the Lighthouse and the Orlando a Biography. She was a key figure in the Bloomsbury Group. As we know that there were two groups, Bloomsbury Group and the Fabian Society. So this Virginia Woolf and Vita Sackville-West, both are the member of Bloomsbury Group, a circle of intellectuals and artists. Woolf is renowned for her experimental narrative techniques, particularly stream of consciousness writing, and her exploration of themes like a gender identity and mental health. Vita Sackville-West was born on 1892 and died on 1962. Was an English writer, poet, and garden designer. She was an aristocrat known for her novel, The Edwardians, and her poetry. She also created the famous garden at Sissinghurst Castle with her husband. Orlando is a reflection of Vita Sackville-West. So Orlando is heavily inspired by Vita's life, particularly her attachment to her ancestral home, Knoll, which she could not inherit due to gender restrictions. The protagonist's long lifespan and gender transformation mirror Vita's personal struggle with identity and societal expectations. The oak tree, the poem Orlando writes throughout the novel, reflects Vita's real life poetic endeavors, particularly The Land. Was published in 1927. The role of gender and sexual identity in Orlando. So Woolf's portrayal of Orlando's shifting gender highlights fluidity rather than a rigid binary, resonating with Vita's own gender dualism. Vita often presented different versions of herself depending on her relationship, sometimes embracing masculinity, sometimes femininity. The novel challenges conventional sexual identities, portraying desire as unpredictable and not strictly heterosexual or homosexual. Historical versus fictional adaptation. So, we saw this movie Vita and Virginia. So Virginia Woolf's Orlando takes a highly imaginative approach to history, blending fact and fiction in a way that defies traditional biography. The novel follows Orlando across the centuries, changing gender and experiencing different historical periods, making a history feel fluid and subjective. Woolf reinterprets real events and figures using satire and fantasy to challenge the idea of a fixed historical narratives. In contrast, Vita and Virginia stays closer to historical reality, focusing on the actual relationship between Wolves and Vita Sackville West. The film dramatizes their romance through their letters and interactions, offering a more literal portrayal of their love and its impact on Orlando. Unlike Woolf's novel, which reshapes history for artistic and philosophical exploration, Vita and Virginia presents a more grounded, dramatized ret- retelling of events, emphasizing emotional truth over historical reinvention. Woolf's experiment with biography and fiction in Orlando. So, Orlando is a described a writer's holiday, but also a literary revolution. By writing Orlando, Woolf essentially rewrote the rules of biography, blending factual and fictional elements to create a new form of storytelling. Orlando lives for century and seamlessly moving through different historical periods, uses Vita's aristocratic lineage but transform history into playful and a fluid narrative. The novel parodies traditional biographies using an unreliable narrator who contradicts historical facts. Feminist interpretation of Orlando. So, Orlando critiques of patriarchal history by allowing its protagonist to transcend gender barriers. Woolf presents gender as a performance, aligning with modern feminist and queer theories. The novel's conclusion, where Orlando exists beyond strict gender categories, suggests a rejection of a fixed identity, in which this satire, feminism, and social critique we can find in this Orlando biography and as well as in the film. Vita and Virginia. So Woolf critiques the limited roles assigned to women across a history. Orlando, as a man, enjoy privilege, power, and intellectual freedom, but upon becoming a woman, she faces legal and social restrictions from the society. And Orlando mocks patriarchal institutions that deny women access to inheritance and power. Woolf also critique the literary and academic exclusion of women, portraying Orlando's struggles as a female writer in the 18th and 19th century. Orlando's marriage to Shelmardine is depicted with irony and humor, challenging the traditional idea of marriage as a woman ultimate fulfillment. Okay, so now I conclude my presentation. Virginia Woolf's Orlando is a both a love letter to Vita Sackville West and a bold statement on gender and identity. Through Orlando's journey across the centuries and transformation from man to woman, Woolf challenges the strict gender roles and societal limits placed on a woman. The novel also satirized the way history and literature have traditionally excluded women, using humor to expose this injustice by presenting gender as a fluid and identity as a ever changing. Orlando was ahead of its time, influencing modern feminist and queer discussion. More than just a tribute to Vita, it is a groundbreaking work that continues to inspire conversations about self expressing and freedom. These are my references. And yes, thank you so much. Now you can ask me a question if you have a query.
So, Bhumi, my question is to you that how does marriage function as a satire in Orlando?
Uh, Marriage function is a satire in Orlando. Orlando is like a playful, and marriage is a f- for Orlando, marriage is a playful and unexpected. Is a making a fun of traditional ideas of love and gender roles, and it also shows that relationships don't have to follow the society's rules and restrictions, and it's highlight to fluid nature of relationships and gender role.
So, Bhumi, my question is, does Vita and Virginia capture the essence of Orlando?
According to me, not exactly, because Vita and Virginia tells their real love story, and showing their letters, emotions, feelings, and relationships. While this Orlando is goes beyond reality. Orlando goes beyond reality, and wolves turn Vita into this character, and it's live for centuries, and making her life timeless. So this Orlando biography to explore the gender fluidity and history, while this film Vita and Virginia is stay grounded in actual events. So yes, that is from my side. Thank you so much.